It has been 10 seconds. Hello. For you guys, it's probably been a week. We're putting Go the Distance back on the shelf. No. I think it went there. Welcome back. If you've seen the title of this video, which you probably did and you saw the thumbnail, you know we're going to talk about Conceal, Don't Feel, which is another Twisted Tale by Jen Kalanita in this particular review recap. So anywho, we are talking about Conceal, Don't Feel, which is the Frozen Twisted Tale retelling with the premise of what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other. I'm going to put a little pin in this and future and past Twisted Tale recap. Twisted Tale recap videos. The one-liners they put up here sometimes are deceiving. More often than not, I'm like, that's not what you sold me in the one line. And even if I like the story, you lied to me. Which is partially the reason why I don't read like the promo stuff. I don't read blurbs before I read a book. These I'm reading because I know I'm gonna probably enjoy them and I've got a series going. Other books, people just tell me that I might like it, so I read it and I don't research it. And we see what happens. But let me read you guys the blurb for Conceal, Don't Feel. Why are they all so long? I mean, I guess they're technically not. It's just spaced out, but I don't want to talk that much. All right, here we go. As the future queen of Arendelle, Princess Elsa leads a life full of expectations and responsibilities. Not to mention questions. What type of ruler will she be? When will she have to pick a suitor? And why has she always harbored the feeling that some critical piece of her is missing? Following the unexpected death of her parents, Elsa is forced to answer those questions sooner than she hoped, becoming the sole ruler of her kingdom and growing lonelier than ever. But when mysterious powers begin to reveal themselves, Elsa starts to remember fragments of her childhood that seem to have been erased, fragments that include a familiar-looking girl. Determined to fill the void she always felt, Elsa must take a harrowing journey across her icy kingdom to undo a terrible curse and find the missing princess of Arendelle. I'm kind of surprised that Anna wasn't mentioned, like, in the blurb, but I guess they're trying to keep the mystery of it. But we're literally switching POVs between Anna and Elsa throughout the book, and I think we have 1 or 2 Hans chapters, which we'll talk about in a moment here. But it doesn't remain a mystery for long of where Anna is, and it's kind of obvious. If you've seen Frozen, you know Anna and Elsa are sisters. The title, what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other? So when we see a POV for Anna and a POV for Elsa, we know they're gonna get together. So the blurb, I don't care for blurbs. This is why my marketing is terrible, because I don't care for blurbs. Elsa has been living in the palace with her parents, as per usual, going through the motions of studying to be the next queen, and inheriting after her parents. Meanwhile, Anna is living in a village, like in the mountain, a couple days away. She was raised by like a baker couple, raised in a bakery, essentially. Not too much to say for early Elsa stuff, but with Anna, I think her spirit was really captured well in her POV with that sort of like slightly ADD, but like innocent, pure, just happy-go-lucky kind of girl. And while she's living in the bakery, one of her mom's friends, Freya, comes to visit every once in a while, and she's always super excited. And Freya lives in Arendelle and has all these stories to tell her. Well, I'm sure you can guess who Freya actually is, but in case you can't, I'll tell you later. So for a good portion, if not close to 30 to 40% of the book, the start of the book, is going back and forth between Anna and Elsa and just capturing them as characters, which, as I mentioned in my Go the Distance review, and I'm going to reiterate a little bit more strong, I'm just going to reiterate it. I believe Kalanita's strength in writing these, and these stories in particular, I've not read anything outside of the Twisted Tales, is really that capturing of characters and building up them as like characters, entities. Like they're really, it like their day to day is just interesting and fun. I guess it's not really fun to study to be a princess, but it's very nice. I like the way she builds up her characters. However, the endings where this book lacked for me. But before we get there, like I said, about that 30-ish% mark, actually maybe it was sooner. Might have been a little bit sooner that Elsa and Anna's parents, the king and queen, go out on their voyage and are lost at sea. They die. We have a little bit of time jump. I think it's about 3 years because like Elsa shuts herself away and it's about coronation day. She must be 18 or 21. I read it the first time, but I re-listened to this as an audiobook. So like those numbers did not save, even though I just finished this today while I was at the gym. Some years had passed, but now we're at Elsa's coronation, and she had kept herself away from everybody, but pretty soon after her parents had died, she kind of rediscovered her magic, which had been dormant for an unknown time. Like she thought she just got them after her parents died, but she was actually born with them. And so she had created Olaf, and he was kind of like her secret companion for that time period. But as the coronation got closer, we also had Prince Hans come in, and the Duke of Weaseltown Duke guy was there, kind of just getting in the way and trying to force the marriage and the alliances and being annoying. At this time, Hans was a sweetheart. He played that charming role very well. It's sad because you know how he turns out in the movie. So I think if you read this afterward and you see that like potential, you kind of are hoping that it turns out differently. However, that is quickly squandered because we get it might have been just the one random Hans chapter in his POV where he's like, yeah, I'm the 13th son, so I'm never going to rule my own kingdom, so I'm going to marry into it and take over. And you're like, oh, you're still the bad guy. So everything else he does after that, you're already like, you a turd. So I would have really liked to see that different. He didn't necessarily have to end up with Anna or Elsa in the end, because Anna and Kristoff are fantastic. But he was obviously courting Elsa at this time, since Anna wasn't at the palace and nobody even knew about her. Hence the curse magic thing that they went through. But I would have just liked to see Hans like as a good guy. He had way more potential, and it wasn't just like, all right, well, no surprises here, no twists. Please twist it for me. So that was a bit disappointing, especially like if the author had not put in that POV, I think having his character revealed more towards the end of the book would have been a little bit stronger. But I hate when they do a villain POV and reveal what's going on, because it takes away a lot of the tension. A lot of it. So unless the villain is like half the book's POV and they've got their own things going on and we're not just like, this is my plan. I don't like villain POVs in books. Don't ruin the surprise for me. Don't do it. But it was during Elsa's preparation for the coronation that she freaked out, and as she tried to escape from everybody, her powers were revealed, and she ran off into the woods to the North Mountain and created her little ice palace. Okay, this is pretty much the same as the movie. We're gonna tilt you down a bit. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. No, that's why we were sitting up too high. We could not angle lower. No. Okay. Freeze you. Okay, I think we're back to where we started. Anywho. So meanwhile, with Anna, obviously she heard of the king and queen's death, but she was more impacted because Freya was on the ship as well, traveling with them. So Freya was dead too. So she was upset about Freya, who was kind of going to be her exit from the village so that she could go to Arendelle, because she's always wanted to go to Arendelle. She's always wanted to get out of her little village and become like a famous baker down there. And this obviously set back her plan. So in that 3-year jump, she still wants to go to Arendelle and she's about ready to go do it. And her parents are like, you're not of age yet. You got to be 21. So I think she's 18. You got to be 21 and you can't travel by yourself. So you're not going. And she's kind of like, I can't go. But Elsa's freak out, causing all the snow to take over, also affected their village. So eventually Anna and Kristoff, who's like doing his ice thing in the village, they had met a couple times. She convinces Kristoff to take her down to Arendelle so they can find out what happened. And this is where Anna's slowly, like, she's getting these instinctual feelings of like where she's been, where she has to go, but she does not understand the scope of the curse that it is, okay? So this curse, it is quickly revealed because Elsa goes to the trolls and they explain to her and like show her in a little vision thing what happened when, same as the movie, she had accidentally hit Anna with her magic, knocked Anna out. Parents rush in a frantic to the trolls. The trolls' solution was to essentially wipe Anna's memory of all magic and situations. But Elsa didn't want that, so in her conflicting feelings and power, it created a curse where if Anna and Elsa were near or close to each other, essentially Anna would freeze over and die. So because of that, the king and queen knew it was best to keep them separate, having their family friends take care of Anna while they raised Elsa since she was the heir. Now you're all caught up. From here to, well, I guess there's a small stint that's a little bit different from the movie, and that's because Anna and Kristoff are traveling together and they eventually make their way to the trolls as well and kind of find things out. But Hans goes to the ice castle and pretty much captures Elsa, revealing that he's the baddie. And since Elsa won't marry him, he's like, well, now that I know Anna is your sister, because there was a letter. The letter was really the catalyst in Elsa being like, my sister is still out there. He found the letter, so he just like, I just got to find Anna, and there's another princess for me to marry, so I can just lock you up or, defeat you as the monster, etc. So Hans does eventually run into Anna. Doesn't get too far in establishing a relationship, but the thing that was a disappointment in this book the first time around, and again, listening to it, was it's literally the same exact ending as the movie. Like, as far as, Hans trying to kill Elsa, Anna rushing out and like protecting her and then freezing. The terms are slightly different, but the scenes literally played out almost exactly as the movie, it was just, we came so far. We changed so many fun things with like Anna's background, and potentially could have had a different Hans, but no, he's the bad guy. So it let me down. And this is one of her earlier works in here, like Mirror Mirror was before this. Half that book I don't like. And it's the Snow White POV, I'll tell you that. Up until the ending, I did enjoy this book a lot better. It just let me down that, granted, it doesn't have to all be a twist and totally different. I get that, and I accept that. But I thought it had a lot more potential. Like, we could have even played with a different type of scene, but we did stick with exactly the one in the movie. Take that with a grain of salt. If you don't care, if you haven't seen the movie and you just like to read books, this is new for you. Hopefully, I didn't spoil it too much. But yeah, so character-wise, I'm starting to understand Kalanita's writing style and enjoy that part of it. I still think, my girl, you and me both, Kalanita, it's endings. Endings get hard. Is there anything else I have to say about you? Oh, there was one thing that when I was listening to it today. If you've seen the movie or the trailers even, where like Elsa embraces her powers and her total look changes, she lets her hair down, her dress totally changes. That scene is described in here. Visually in the movie, because, we've got the whole magical essence and just things happen, okay? There was a bunch of suspension of disbelief on like how her dress changed magically. Having it explained to you step by step knowing that she only has ice powers and the fabrics literally being described from like a starchy high neck collar turning into a silky sparkly thing. I'm like, you can't change the fabric. Too much detail in the wrong place for me. Like, I know there's a whole sector of like writing about beautiful dresses and whatnot in YA and stuff, but it just, I was like, I guess it's magic, but technically you're telling me she did it and she has ice powers, not fabric powers. So now I've been taken out of it. So there was enough parts in this that I was taken out of the book. I think that's where my point was coming to, especially in the second half. There was a lot of points where I was taken out of the story that affected my ending experience with this book. However, I still love the first half with Anna and Elsa's new character twists, essentially. We just gotta work on some endings. That's my final word. We're gonna put it away now, so I stop repeating myself. Back on the shelf you go. Great. Cool. So we got through another one, and I got one more review to film today so I can get it off my list and get it edited. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out all the other sort of recappy reviews that I have for the Twisted Tale series, and let me know which one you're looking forward to if I haven't done it yet, or feel free to discuss the book in the comments below. This bad boy, the anthology, which won't be part of the ranking, but this one is, we're going to talk about this in just a few moments. I'll see you then.